But I think that all important point never should be forgotten, that it is ultimately demonstrating that, recycling and reforming of our materials into new formats means that you can almost start to redefine what we mean by recycling. And if we can actually say, well, actually recycling is more than conversion of a product, a like to like conversion. And if you can convert products into so many different types of formats, then what you're really doing is you're showing recycling and reforming working together. And to me, that whole reform is such an important piece of the puzzle that I think, in a way, by talking about recycling and reforming together, allows us to then say, right, we can reform structures, and we can reform chemistry, and we can reform products. So suddenly it opens up a whole range of possibilities, where if you only think about recycling, you would generally tend to think about converting like for like, whereas in this case, we're talking about recycling and reforming going together. But the all important, point that sits in the middle of all of this is what are we going to do, as a country where we know that new policies that are going to come into effect with the export bans. And I think, to me, it's so critical that we align recycling and manufacturing in a way that it brings these two worlds together. So ultimately, if you can actually show that using these types of resources and bringing that as part of our mainstream manufacturing technologies is so important. And this is really the whole reason why we wanted to really set up our own micro factories, because we wanted to show that it is absolutely possible to create quality products that show high performance, that are made out of waste, because it's not just about the material, it's also how you make the product. So it's that how you make it is so important. So I like to think about it as, you take your waste, you kind of desynthesize it, and you resynthesize it into something else, and this way it almost goes to show that, materials can be sitting in a complex pile of waste, and you might look at it and go, oh my God, what am I going to do with this? But if you actually get right down at the molecular level, you can think about the desynthesis. And once you break that down right at those fundamental levels, and you then imagine resynthesis. So this is where, of course, when we talk about that reform, it really allows us at the micro level to kind of resynthesize all kinds of new products.